This blog post is entitled Something Has Got to Give, October 7th, 2010. So, in all of my 21 years of living, I've had two boyfriends who I can honestly say loved me as much, if not more, as much as I love them. My relationships have been all over the place. I can't even begin to explain, and I wouldn't be able to explain it in this blog alone. So, what I'm going to do is focus on my current love interest, hot and cold, and the struggles I face with him in our situation. So, just a little background information. I met him on Twitter. I know that's a bit risky, but hey, I'm a risky girl. So, yeah, he followed me on Twitter, posted some comments, replied to some of my posts, and then eventually asked for my number. So, I gave it to him because he was pretty cool. We started talking and texting, and then we decided to hang out sometime like around early June. It had to be after the 4th. That's all I remember. So, our first face to face was on a very hot summer day. He asked me if I had a pool, or I told him I was going to the pool or something, and he decided that he wanted to come over and come to the neighborhood pool with me. So I said, cool, that's fine. A public place, though. Anyway, so I was nervous to meet him, of course, because I met him on Twitter. You never know what you're going to get from Twitter. Tweet cons and tweets are no way to judge somebody. But anyways, he came over, and as soon as he got out the car, I was in love. His caramel complexion, tattoos, and his dreads. Yes, I have like an obsession with dreads. I was like in heaven. Anyway, so Hot and Cold was cool. He was very charming and funny. I enjoyed myself. Like, I felt very comfortable around him. Kicked it all night. He came back after we went to the pool and we watched movies and just chilled. So by the end of the night, I was debating whether or not I was gonna let him spend the night because he had been there for a while. Like, it was getting late. He kept asking me, and I was like, whenever you want to go, whatever. But by a certain time, Mama JJ took over, and it was making moves on its own. So yes, I did fuck him. Disclaimer: just because you meet somebody does not mean that you have to fuck him. But I am grown, and I felt a certain way, and I was horny, so I fucked him. I don't fuck everybody on the first night, and I wouldn't recommend that you do it neither. Moving on. So we started the friendship. Me, Hot and Cold, started talking and texting more, hanging out a little more often, and we even shared a common hobby, which was smoking. Even though I recently started smoking, been smoking for a while, but he became my smoke buddy. He knew how to roll. I did not, seeing as I'm a newbie. But anyways, so our summer routine became like calling and texting each other, or chilling and smoking, or fucking. But usually, if he wasn't upset, that I would suck his dick. But it was good though. One of the things that kind of turned me off to him somewhat, like, I'm still attracted to him and I still talk to him to this day, but there was this one time where we were hanging out at the pool, me, Hot and Cold, and I asked him about his tattoos, and he was going over them and giving me all the meanings and explanations about them and all that jazz. And it was this one in particular on his arm that I asked about, and he said it was for his daughter. Backtrack. We didn't already been through the question and answer stage. You know, when you first meet somebody, you always ask them, what's your name? What school did you go to? Are you from here? Do you have kids? Are you single? Like, whatever. So we already been through that, and no kids had ever been mentioned. Not from me, not from him. And so I was kind of taken back, but he explained to me, and he was saying how he was supposed to be a father. However, his daughter never made it into this world. And I was like, oh, okay. And so he kind of noticed that I was like taken back or whatever. And he explained it to me or whatever and let me know that he was single and mingling. But I still kind of had something against it because when we had started talking, that was like a month after the fact that the baby was supposed to have been born, meaning that he was just recently talking to his baby mom, or they was just messing around or whatever, meaning he could still be talking to her, or he could still be hurt by the death of the baby or whatnot. But I let it go. It didn't really change too much between us. We were still cool, still friends. And so now we get to the present, 4 months later. I am starting to fall for hot and cold. I honestly have some type of feeling for him, and I'm not going to call it love. I think that would be a little too far fetched. I've been in love, and I don't think I'm there yet, but it's definitely something. And I'm not one of those females who's very emotional. Well, not in public, anyways. I don't let people know when I'm hurt or if I'm mad. Pretty much a sign of weakness. I'm not very expressive when it comes to emotions. I'm very straightforward, yes, and I like to let people know bits and pieces of how I feel, but never the whole story. But anyways, I let Hot and Cold know how I felt about him, plain as that. I told him through a text. I didn't ever call him or do it face to face, but he knows. And the only problem that I have with Hot and Cold is that he's just like me. I never know what's going on in his mind. He doesn't If he doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do it. If he doesn't want to talk about something, he's not going to talk about it. He seems conceited. And the biggest pet peeve I have is that he never elaborates on anything. Till this day, I still have no idea how he feels about me, even as a friend. So, it's really weird for me because there's all these guys, like, I'm used to guys professing their love to me or bending over backwards to, like, please me or even get my attention. Yet I have this dude here who I'm totally nuts about, and he doesn't seem to be nuts about me. Like, I'm confused. And I've bypassed and I've ignored so many dudes who want to be with me, and I find it strange that I'm only interested in someone who doesn't express interest in me. I keep asking myself why, but I don't have no real answers. I'm good at giving advice, but it's a whole nother thing when it comes to taking your own advice. So, Hot and Cold, if you're watching this, don't get me wrong. 4 months is not that long. We still have time, and I'm not saying that I don't want to be your friend or that we can't be friends. I'm just more the type who likes to know what's going on. I haven't even met your mom yet, so no, I'm not saying let's jump into a relationship or let's be together. No, nothing like that. I'm totally okay with us being friends. Um, but it's just like at this time, I think possibly I might want more in the future, just from the simple fact that like us hanging out, I'm like kind of attached to you now. So if you're not ready for that, you're not interested, or like you're interested in somebody else, you're working on yourself and not looking, or maybe it hasn't even crossed your mind. I would like to know that, like, just so I have a basic understanding or idea of where we stand. Like, I'd rather know what I'm waiting on, if I'm waiting, or if I should move on before I get any deeper. And that's just my thoughts on it. Um, yeah. So let's do it again. Let's do a take two.